Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. And today I want to talk to you guys about Marvel. Or more specifically, I want to talk to you guys about the MCU. Now, I want you guys to remember back in 2019 when they released Endgame. And a lot of people, after watching Endgame, when they left the theater, I'm willing to bet a lot of people saw Endgame and they thought, you know what? I think I might be done with the MCU. I know they have more stories planned, but I think I'm okay. I am okay with just leaving it here. Obviously, a lot of people also didn't think the same. They wanted the story to continue. I was one of the people who was okay with just leaving it at Endgame because I thought that the movie gave a pretty good ending. And after that, seeing some of the decisions that Marvel has been making, especially when it comes to their upcoming titles, it makes me realize that they are making the mistake that the comics did. And what I mean by that is if you don't know much about the Marvel comics, then you don't know that back, I think it was in 2017, where they did this thing. I could be wrong on the date, it's been a while. They did this thing called All New, All Different, where they basically replaced all of the characters that you knew and loved with other versions of the character. And a lot of people were not happy with that decision. One of those decisions was Sam Wilson becoming Captain America. A lot of people were not happy with the decision because people thought Sam Wilson was Falcon. That's his character. He is not Captain America. Steve Rogers is Captain America. That was just one of them. Iron Man was replaced by Riri Williams, a character that nobody liked. Logan, Wolverine, was replaced by his clone, which we ended up finding out was actually his daughter, Laura Kinney, or X-23. And basically all these decisions that nobody liked. And it got so bad that so many fans left and the sales for these comics just plummeted. And it got so bad that Marvel had to bring back the characters that they got rid of. You know, Wolverine came back, Logan, Steve Rogers came back, what was it, Iron Man, Tony Stark came back. It's just they had to bring back all these characters. And one of them, Thor. They did it to they did it with Thor where they replaced him with Jane Foster. They even had to bring him back because people just didn't like it. They didn't like that anyone else had the mantle because that mantle belongs to that character. Like I said, Steve Rogers is Captain America, Tony Stark is Iron Man, Logan is Wolverine, and Thor is, well, Thor. That one was the most confusing because how can someone else be Thor? Because Thor isn't a title, Thor was his name. How can someone else take his name? Whatever. And it seems like Marvel is now, the MCU is making those same mistakes because as you can see, we have one of the examples right here, Falcon and Winter Soldier. You can't see the other one, but there's Thor: Love and Thunder where they're bringing in the Jane Foster Thor. They're basically making the same mistake. However, it seems like that's not the only mistake that they probably will make, and it seems like this is a mistake that they have already done, and we'll get to that. But what mistake am I talking about? One thing that the comics did, even before All New, All Different, if I remember correctly, again, it's been a while, but one thing that they did was they went back and they recontextualized everything. Two examples when I think about this come to mind. One of them being with Spider-Man and One More Day. Or no, not One More, no, it wasn't One More Day. One More Day was horrible, but that wasn't it. It was the Clone Saga, where it was revealed that the Peter Parker you've been following all this time wasn't even the real Peter Parker or wasn't even the real Spider-Man. The real Peter Parker was actually Ben Reilly. So yeah, that pissed a lot of people off. And people didn't like it. Sorry, I can hear someone outside. And it seems like, oh yeah, the other example was when they revealed that Steve Rogers was a member of Hydra all this time. Steve Rogers, Captain America, was a fucking Yahtzee. And it seems like Marvel may have already done something recently with one of their characters and one of their best characters. If I in my opinion, I think a lot of people agree with me on this. One of their best characters, they already made this mistake with this character. What character am I talking about? Well, you probably already guessed this from the title. The character I'm talking about is Loki. They basically retconned Loki's story. Now, what I mean by that is Loki as a character, if you've been following the MCU, started off as someone who was very, very selfish. Someone who only ever did things for his own gain. The only reason why he even joined Thanos was because Thanos promised him the Earth. The only reason he did anything in the first Thor movie was because it was to his benefit. Him letting the frost giants in to Asgard and to disrupt the ceremony, that was all to stop Thor from taking the throne because he wanted the throne. Everything he did at first was all for his own gain. And as the movies moved forward, Loki started to change. And that was part of his character. He went from being someone who was selfish and didn't really care much about his family to being someone who was selfless and did care about his family. And that's why in Infinity War, when you had that moment where he says, Odin's son, where he was, trying to convince Thanos to let him work for him again, when he says Odin's son, like that was basically confirmation that, yeah, he has changed. He has fully accepted himself as being Thor's brother and Odin's son. Which is why it was even more sad when he died, when Thanos killed him. And it was for real this time. Like, you knew this wasn't fake. Like, no, this is for real this time. No, like even Thanos himself said, as a way the writers to tell us, the audience, like, yeah, this is for real this time. They had Thanos say no more resurrections. And yeah, it was sad. And it was sad because they did a good job of writing the character. And also because Tom Hiddleston played the character beautifully. However, it seems like Marvel just didn't care about any of that. Because they did something, and keep in mind, this was back in 2018, which, by the way, I have no idea how the hell I missed this. But they made a decision where they apparently confirmed that he was being mind controlled the entire time. Or more specifically, in the Avengers. So everything he did, bringing the Chitauri to invade Earth, all that destruction caused in New York because of the battle, it turns out he was just under the influence of the Mind Stone the entire time. It wasn't because he was, again, being selfish and not really caring about the people of Earth. He did it all for himself. It turns out, no, that's not the case. He was just being mind controlled because, of course, why can you not have a character that starts off one way and then ends up another way, i.e. character growth? Why have that? Why do you want character growth? No, just have characters be the same from beginning to end. Because that's what this decision ultimately says, that Loki was the same from the beginning. And that the only reason why he was so horrible in the Avengers is because he was being mind controlled. Yeah. That's Marvel. So I'm not going to go through this entire article. I already kind of read it, and it's pretty stupid. You're free to go check it out for yourself if you really want to see how stupid it is. But it basically goes over everything that happened with Loki over the course of the movies, and they're trying to justify it, well, this is actually a good decision, but it's not. It's not. It's stupid. It's a dumb decision. And it's a reminder of exactly who's in charge of the MCU moving forward. Keep that in mind. And it just reaffirms that I was right in my decision to stop after Endgame. I don't care about the MCU moving forward. I don't care what they do. For me, it ended with Endgame. It's over. All of this, I don't care. I didn't care for WandaVision. I didn't care for Falcon Winter Soldier, though from what I heard is absolutely horrible, so thank God I didn't watch it. Loki, have no interest in watching that show. What If? Nope, no. Shang-Chi, Miss Marvel, none. One big X. I don't care. I don't care about the MCU moving forward. Now, whether you are with me or not on that decision, that's completely up to you. You can let me know about that in the comments. Also, while you're here, maybe consider leaving a like and sharing the video, and consider subscribing and clicking on the bell icon if you haven't. And remember to stay safe, take care of yourselves, guys, and please join me for the next video. Bye for now.